Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. So, those who have followed along, I think my last video was when I was due with our first daughter. And now we are on to being due with baby number 3. So in 12 weeks, baby number 3 is coming, and I am here to document the final stages of being pregnant, going into the postpartum period with 3 kids, being home full time with them, as well as tackling some major fitness goals. So if this sounds like something that is similar to you, we have that in common. Follow along, because my goal here is to document all of it. I speak to so many friends that have kids that are trying to balance these things, and to be honest, when I'm on the treadmill logging mile after mile, I'm on YouTube watching parents or just people that are managing a bunch of responsibilities and doing it and performing at a really high level. So if that's what you're into, you're going to be into this series. And today we're going to be pretty brief. We're just going to tackle my 2025 Misogi. Now, if you've never heard of the word Misogi, I was first introduced by Jesse Itzler, and he's kind of molded the definition. But if you look up the definition, it is, in modern times, a Misogi has evolved into a personal development and transformation approach that involves a broader range of activities. These can include physical and mental challenges, spiritual practices, or meditation. And the goal is to challenge oneself to do something that seems impossible, with just a 50% chance of success. And that idea is that by doing these things, by pushing oneself out of their comfort zone, people can gain confidence, courage, and optimism. So that being said, I've got some big things lined up for 2025. So let's dive into them. First thing, obviously, is going to be we got to get into March. Our third baby is coming in March, and that is a major life change. My responsibilities are about to shift majorly, and while I feel like I kind of got in my groove with 2 kids, I know that 3 is going to throw a wrench in all of it, and it's going to require a lot of flexibility. So that's going to be a big one. So March, that's going to happen, and I'm going to cover kind of my fitness going up until March, and then what that looks like postpartum, just transitioning into kind of getting my body ready to just get back into the swing of things and tackle some big goals towards the end of the year. So in October, I live in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. I plan to run the Detroit Free Press Marathon. Now, my marathon history in the past started, actually, ironically, with before having my first daughter, Grace. So I was looking for a fitness challenge, kind of something I've never done before, a Misogi, and it was to just complete a marathon. And I completed it, and instead of just knocking it off my bucket list, I felt that I could run it faster. So I hired a coach, I prepared, and I ran a Boston qualifying time, but that was the year that they made the big cuts to the Boston Marathon, and I was cut by just a 30-second gap. So this past April of 2024, I ran again and I qualified. Now, the really cool thing about the Boston Marathon is that they have a pregnancy clause where if you are pregnant or in your postpartum period, you can apply to defer to their next year's race or the year after, which I did. So my goal is, when I run the Detroit Free Press, to run even faster than my prior time. My prior time was a 3:20. This past April 2024, I ran a 3:20 marathon. And to be honest, I finished that one a little disappointed. There's a million different factors and conditions that go into a race day. And heat was a major factor in April, which I never thought I'd be hit with. So if the stars align and the training lines up, I am capable of running faster. But I'm setting a scary goal, and I'm going to share it with you. And that is a sub 3:10 marathon. I know the work that was required to get me to a 3:20, and I know that it's going to take even more work and more sacrifice. And on top of having more responsibilities as a mom, it's a lot to put on my plate. But I know that physically I need to keep pushing the bar and pushing for better, because I know that I have the capability. So my goal is a 3:10 in October at the Detroit Free Press Marathon. You heard it here first, and you are going to watch me prep all the way from pregnancy through postpartum and everything in between. I'm gonna try and do a mix of having you here, like just kind of in my basement pain cave office with me, and then mix in some vlogs as well, just to kind of show you my family dynamic and just show you I'm a normal person like every one of you. I'm a mom, and my priority really is my family, the people around me. But that being said, I have some personal goals, some business goals, and some fitness goals that I want to prioritize as well. They're under being a mom, always under being a mom. My kids will always be first, my family will always be first, but I want to find a way to try and balance that. And if I can document it and kind of share with you my struggles, maybe you'll learn a thing or two. So, this is just a quick intro video on who I am, what my goals are, and what I'll be sharing with you. And the next video, we're going to dive into exactly what my training looks like now, and then what I'm planning out for it to look like through the end of these next 12 weeks, and then into the postpartum phase, and then ramping up. We'll phase it out. So this will be phase 1, will be pregnancy, then we'll have a postpartum, and then once I've gotten through that postpartum phase where I've finally gotten back to like where I feel like my base fitness is, then we'll head into like phase 3, which is just really dialing in like a full on marathon prep. And I cannot tell you how excited I am for those of you who are moms or maybe just thinking about being a mom. Family planning is no joke because obviously it requires you sacrificing your body. You are the vessel in which you are growing a human. With that, like I said, comes sacrifice. And there's going to be times in your life where you're either, super fit, you're trying to maintain your fitness through pregnancy, you're trying to ease back into things without, your body change so much, without, wrecking your body. And then you're also trying to get back to like feeling like you can do things that you were able to do prior to being pregnant. And everyone has their own path. The postpartum side usually looks different, and it's a humbling experience, but it teaches you also that your body is capable of so much and teaches you to adapt, and just great life lessons that if I can share with any of you and you get anything from it, that's really the goal here. So that is the 2025 Misogi, and I know it was a little long-winded, but hopefully by sharing all of this with you, you'll get a little something out of it, and if anything, it'll just be what not to do. Who knows? I have meant to document this my past 2 pregnancies, and it's hard. Kids keep you busy and time slips away from you, but I've learned that without documenting all of this, it feels like time wins, and by documenting this, I think it'll be really useful, and at least if anything, just fun for me to look back on. So 2025 Misogi 310 marathon, and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do it as going into being a mom of 3. Thanks for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video.